Hi guys, it's Jason here with you guys. We're gonna on this video we're gonna talk about the week one of what happened last week. I know it's Friday, but we're pretty much into week two. We got games tonight. We'll talk about what I thought about week one, what I saw. Week one began with Purdue and Northwestern. Northwestern got the win at Purdue. Northwestern making it critical. They had to stop third down, and they got a personal foul, and Purdue lost the game on that call. Purdue opens up Big Ten play with the loss, and Northwestern gets the W, and it wasn't a lot of good games. A&M blows out Northwestern State. Those top games, but let's talk about the big games of the weekend. Ohio State just rats Oregon State. Oregon State might be improving the Pac-12. They may not result in wins, but if you don't play the Beavers, that if you don't play the A game with the Beavers, you're gonna stumble. They'll put up points this year for sure. I don't think Lawton's the quarterback, but I really like the backup quarterback that Oregon State had that played the game. I watched some of it. Blunt, 1 assist, 2 touchdowns in that loss. One game I was really wrong about. I thought FAU was going to put up a fight. Oklahoma just pushed a drumming on them. FAU's secondary just forgot how to cover. You could look at it. Yeah, Oklahoma's defense shut down the top 10 team, but we all know FAU's opponents are not that good. So is Oklahoma a team to really watch out for? I would hold my stock in Oklahoma. I definitely want to wait till at least the Red River shootout against Texas. I know Texas lost to Maryland, and we'll talk about that later. But you look at Oklahoma, Cal Murray. You see why that kid got drafted to baseball with those grenades. He's a very good athlete, very good arm. I think a better runner than Baker Mayfield for sure. That's gonna really put dynamic in. Hey, if Oklahoma's defense can show up, and if that offense is better than last year, Oklahoma's a team to be reckoned with, because we all know the Big 12, maybe outside of TCU, there's no elite defenses in that conference. So that's something to watch out for. TCU, they had a cupcake against Southern, 58-7. With TCU, I can't wait to see them against Ohio State next week. That's going to be a very good game in Dallas, I believe. Dallas at Houston. I know it's a neutral site game, but it's in Texas, so it's really a home game for TCU. So we're not gonna see TCU. Won't have an idea what TCU is. Let's talk about Texas versus Maryland. A really emotional game They honored that player that died over the summer. And once again, man, and against Texas for the second straight year. And Texas blew a fourth quarter lead at the fifth one over Tom Herman's tenure. So he's coached about 14 games, 13 to 14 games at Texas, and 5 of them has blown a fourth quarter lead. So that's really alarming. It's an alarming trend for every Texas fan. Is why is Tom Herman giving up a lot of fourth quarter leads? I still believe Tom Herman's that the coach for Texas. I truly believe that Tom Herman will get that Texas program battled in for Big 12 titles and national titles. Let's see. In the games with matches Auburn beats Washington 21-16 last week. I watched that game as well too. Washington's still going to be the class of the Pac-12. They're going to still compete for a Pac-12 North title. They better hope that Auburn finishes with 2 losses, because even if Auburn don't win the SEC, let's just say that the only losses to Alabama and the Iron Bowl, Auburn will still be in the pecking order versus Washington. Even if Washington wins out and wins the Pac-12, I truly believe head-to-head will matter at that point. I've said in my Oregon video, it's not really about what's the toughest non-conference. It's about who you lost to and what style. Who knows? Washington might get in over Auburn, but I believe Auburn's win over Washington really sets up for them to have a good year. Another game that stuck out to me too, Washington State putting up 41 points against Wyoming. I thought Wyoming was gonna give them a good chance to beat the Cougs, but that game was tied after halftime, and Washington State really put them on, put points in Wyoming in bunches during that game. So let's see, in the other games to talk about week 1, UC Davis beats San Jose State. Morgan plays the Spartans in a couple weeks, next week, matter of fact, before they begin Pac-12 play. Cal USA 24-17. Cal gets the victory. Cal looked good for the first 3 quarters. Kind of let UNC back into that game. That's kind of alarming for me. But we all know Cal's gonna finish the non-conference 2-1 or 3-0. They play BYU this week. That's gonna be another test for them. Notre Dame, Michigan. They have Shea Patterson. Everybody thought Michigan was gonna be good at this year. Shea Patterson just looked at the loss. And if Shea Patterson loses a couple more games, they might have to go to McCaffrey, Dylan McCaffrey, the freshman sophomore quarterback. McCaffrey was pretty good at doing that game. He didn't light it up by any stretches. We're going to pull up his stats real quick. He's 4 out of 6, 22 yards. Not impressive, but you might want to go to the younger quarterback to build off to next year. Watching that game from Michigan, if they struggle versus a good Notre Dame team, I think Notre Dame's gonna have a good season. But with Michigan, I thought they were gonna have a better performance. And they got a very tough Big Ten schedule. It's gonna be interesting to see where they go from here. Arizona loses to BYU, and BYU had that game mainly controlled in the most of the ball game. BYU pretty much did what Oregon did to Arizona last year. They didn't let Khalil Tate run. They didn't blitz. They pretty much dropped 8 in the covers. They had Khalil Tate to make the read and pass the ball. And if you play Arizona, that's what you're gonna have to do. You can't let Khalil Tate run the ball. If Tate runs the ball, it's going to be a long day for whoever plays Arizona. But if you make Tate as a passer, you're gonna have success. Let's talk about a couple of Sunday, Monday games. LSU beats Miami and pretty much controls that ball game. LSU wins 33-17. Really impressed with LSU, but I know LSU has a tough schedule. I still think Miami wins that division, but Rozo is not an accurate quarterback. He missed a lot of balls, missed a lot of overthrows. So it's going to be interesting what Miami does. Now let's talk about Florida State, Virginia Tech real quick before we talk about week 2. Florida State, Virginia Tech. Okay. Florida State they moved the ball, they just couldn't turn over the ball, and watching the Rowdy Tiger team, and Rowdy Tiger left Oregon after 1 year. Everybody knows that. Once again, it just looked like Rowdy Tiger as a play caller really lost how to call a game. And Virginia Tech, they might have faked a couple injuries, but still, Rowdy Tiger just can't call plays. If you look at the last year when Rowdy Tiger didn't have Justin Herbert, that offense averaged about 15 points per game. And I know Virginia Tech, not Virginia Tech, Florida State has drawn Francois. He's a very good quarterback in his own right, but when stuff doesn't go right for Rowdy Tiger offense, they just can't move the ball. They had multiple red zone trips, and with a fumble or missed field goal or interception or whatnot. Let's look at Florida State's box score real quick before we talk about. They had 3 interceptions thrown and 2 fumbles. They had 5 turnovers in that ball game. They moved the ball against Virginia Tech. Just they shot their shots in the foot. Now another thing that's alarming, Oregon averaged about 9 penalties per game last year. Florida State had 7. 7 penalties. Is it the fact that Willie Taggart just doesn't coach discipline, or is Willie Taggart? I want Willie Taggart to do good. Don't get me wrong. I know I kind of join all the Duck fans of laughing at Willie Taggart, but he's a good guy. I met him once, but like I told my fiance this all the time. I think Willie Taggart's a good coach, but I don't think he's ready to coach in the ACC. I don't think in the long run that Florida State fans will be happy with Willie Taggart. And hey, Florida State's gonna have a defense. That defense gave Florida State an opportunity to win that game. Okay, Florida State shut down Virginia Tech. Okay, it wasn't until the fourth quarter that Virginia Tech scored the going away score. It was 17-3 for most of the second half. And when Virginia Tech gets the last score to really make it a 24-3 ball game, that was really the nail in the coffin. You take away those 5 turnovers, maybe that's a different ball game. But for right now, I don't think Willie Taggart knows what he's doing. He looks over his head. You watched them at Oregon. Oregon struggled in the second half. Most of the ball games, Nebraska nearly came back on him. He got shut out 4 out of the 9 Pac-12 games last year. So that's going to be interesting to watch Willie Taggart and what he does at Florida State. So enough talking about week 1. Let's talk about week 2. Let's see. Let's pull up week 2. TCU plays SMU tonight on ESPN 2, 6 o'clock. It's the battle for the skillet rivalry game for TCU. I think TCU wins big. I think SMU with Sonny Dykes, the air raid offense that he runs. But I think TCU shuts them down and gets ready for Ohio State. Mississippi State, Kansas State. Pat Fitzgerald comes back from its 1-game suspension. Mississippi State looked good against a sister of the poor team. I think Mississippi State wins this one in a close game. That is 9 a.m. tomorrow on ESPN. That should be an interesting game. Nevada at Vanderbilt. I like Nevada in this game. I think Nevada gets the upset in Nashville. Nevada put up 70 plus against a FCS opponent last week. I like Nevada in that game. That is 9 a.m. kickoff on the SEC Network. A game that really intrigues me, 9 a.m. tomorrow on ABC, Arizona and Houston. If you guys haven't seen Ed Orville play for Houston, I suggest that you turn on that game. Ed Orville is supposed to be the number 1 pick in next year's draft. He's a very special player. It's going to be interesting what if they use Ed Orville to slow down Khalil Tate. This is not an easy game for Arizona, especially what Arizona came off of against BYU. Let's see, going down the list. Duke and Northwestern, 9 a.m. on ESPNU. That's supposed to be a very good game in Northwestern. I'll have my eye on that one. Pretty much the big game in the SEC, 12:30 on CBS, is Georgia second. Third ranked Georgia plays 20th ranked South Carolina. I like Georgia. I'm a big Jake Fromm fan. I think Georgia's a lot better than they were last year, especially with, I like this that Swift kid and Evander Holyfield. Evander Holyfield in the backfield. I think they're better. Could be a better combo than Chubb and Sonny Michel from a year ago. The Scott Frost era kicks off 12:30 p.m. on ABC, an old Big 12 rival, Colorado, Nebraska. This is not a conference game now, with Colorado being in the Pac-12 and Nebraska being in the Big 10. It's going to be fun to see what Scott Frost, a former Oregon offensive coordinator, does at Nebraska. I believe that he could turn around that program. Let's go down the list. We got Iowa State, a really big in-state rival. I think Iowa, in this rivalry, they have really hoarded serve at home. I think Iowa wins 2 p.m. on Fox. Let's see. Man on the board and the green on ESPN Plus at 3 o'clock. I'm not saying that board and the green wins. I'm saying that board and the green makes this game interesting. It should be a blowout for Maryland, but we'll see about that. Clemson, Texas A&M, 4 o'clock. It's Dabo versus Jimbo once again. A&M is going to be good. Jimbo's going to turn around that program. But I really think Clemson's going to run away with this one. Their D-line is for real. They're going to play 2 quarterbacks, Bryant and Trevor Lawrence. That's going to be a really interesting thing, and who wins that quarterback battle for sure. It's whoever gives Clemson the best chance to win. Let's see. Any games worth to talk about? It's really big. You got BYU and the Cal 7:15 on it is pinned the 2. Pac-12 after dark. BYU beat Arizona last week. Can they go 2-0? This is the Pac-12. I think it's going to be an interesting ball game. I actually have BYU beating the Cal in that one. USC Stanford, 5:30 on Fox tomorrow. I think. Let's see. I want to pick USC. I really do, but I think Stanford is a more complete team on the defense. USC got ranked 3 by UNLV. And Russ Love really has 2 bad games back to back. I think Russ Love probably runs for 150 to 200 yards. Another game that's interesting to me, Michigan State, Arizona State. Where is Hermet is with Arizona State? Michigan State struggled with Utah State. I like Arizona State to get the victory here. Arizona State is it's on at 7:45 on ESPN. Like I said, I really like Arizona State. So yeah, those are the games that I'll be watching on week 2. That's a lot. It's a full day of college football. I'm sure there's going to be games that catches our eye. So once again, my name's been Jason. Have a good day and enjoy college football, and go Ducks.